Hello, welcome to No Rest for the Vivid podcast. My name is Claire Hill, self-belief and business coach and founder of the Vivid Business Club, and I am here to lighten your ears, make you feel really inspired, and give you a bit of a laugh for the next half an hour. Fancy that? If you like my podcast and are enjoying the episode so far, this is episode 272, so lots to binge. Please like or follow or subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. It means so much and gives me a big high five to say that you like what you see, which is bloody brilliant. This is going to be a bit of a relaxed episode. The intention of this episode is for you to lean more into your zone of genius and do more zone of genius activities for you in your internal validation for, what lights you up and makes you feel like you could take off. But it is going to be a bit more of a casual one because I've still got jet lag, babe. I really have. Came back from Thailand just over 48 hours ago. And though the jet lag has been easier this side than it was before, landing in Thailand was difficult. I had quite severe jet lag. And I think that's because we did a night flight, didn't sleep. And then when we landed in Thailand, it was dark. So it was like we missed a whole day of daylight. My body was like, what is going on? Have you trapped me in a room? Yeah, no, I have. I've trapped you in an aeroplane. But the biggest, no, not the biggest thing, but what a brilliant win from me going away for 2 weeks was that I didn't get ill. The last time I went on holiday, a big holiday like this, I got so ill, and it still impacts me now. So I'm just so grateful for not being ill. So grateful. I had such a wonderful time. I feel like I got my husband back for a couple of weeks. His job and what he does for his living. And this is why I'm working so hard on the business, because I want to give him the option of not having to work there anymore. And there are a lot of things that he really enjoys, but there's a lot of stuff he doesn't. And I think he just wants to do a lot to help homeless adults and feels a little bit trapped. Which I feel like he's not on his own there in what he does. But just a bit tired, and I just want to give him some options. I would love to be able to say, here's some money, babe, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to go and start your own charity? What do you want to do? And I had this, I've been doing the magic. Do you know what the magic is? Magic by, I'm going to show you the book actually, if you're watching on YouTube, because I started it, got myself a Kindle. I'm so behind, by the way. I know everybody, Tom, Dick and Harry's got a Kindle, apart from me. It's this one. Oh no, look, let me show you the cover. Why won't you let me show you the cover? Well, anyway, it's called The Magic. I really want to show you the bloody cover, but it won't let me. Right, let's go to the beginning. There we go. The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. Is that her name? Yeah. The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. So I've been doing it. I'm on day 8 or 9. Started it once I'd sort of acclimatised to Thailand. And really enjoying it. I am all about gratitude. So the basics of it is that it takes you through 28 days of gratitude practice, looking at different elements of gratitude. And I'm really enjoying it because it makes me feel really bloody good. And this is the beauty of gratitude, that you cannot feel doubt and negativity at the same time as gratitude. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. If you say if I'm saying like, so I feel a bit achy today because I went on a run yesterday. I haven't run in ages. Managed just over 2K, didn't stop. And I think that's really good. Like when you haven't run for ages, you're really thinking like, well, as long as I run for a minute and if I have to stop, then fine. You just go back into, if anybody's done couch to 5K, you go back into that. I'm going to run for a minute, walk for a minute, run for a minute, that sort of to and fro in. And I have run like nearly 10K. So I know that I've got it in me. And it's like my body went, oh, I remember this. went for this run, felt really good while I was doing it, came back, felt a bit achy. This morning I feel a bit achy. And I was like, well, at least I've got legs. You know, there's no point in me, I can't moan about having achy legs when I've ran. You know, like how can you feel negative about that ache when you know it's because you can do it? You get to run. So I feel really empowered by this gratitude practice, and it's taking me through one thing that's blown my mind. I really want to share this actually. Before I am going to get talk about this zone of genius thing, but there's a bit in it about talking about the money that you have been given throughout your life. And I found it incredibly powerful because I have come from a family that didn't have much money at all. And, you know, I've spoken a lot about the fact that I grew up in poverty and it was really difficult and challenge. I don't need to talk about that in much detail, but I've always focused on the fact that what I didn't have. Even though I'm now like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Look at my office. Like, I'm so happy to come back to work today and, you know, put on a candle, put the heating on. How lucky am I to have a heated office? Look at the bloody gorgeousness of it. This pink, beautiful leopard print all over the place that I actually, you know, painted myself. But I haven't really been able or not asked myself to go back and be grateful for what I had in any detail anyway. I've always been like, well, you know, really grateful we didn't go into care, really grateful that I didn't get separated from my mum, even, you know, all the stuff that was going on, but I'm really grateful because I know now that actually causes so much more trauma. Really grateful I had my dad for 8 years. You know, I can do that. But then I was like, I haven't really thought about the money side of it. And in the book, you go through different steps of like, did you have this? Did you have this? And I was like, well, yeah, I did. Like, did I have food in the cupboards? We did. I mean, it was limited and sometimes I still felt hungry, but I did eat. You know, it was probably oven chips from Iceland. See how I'm trying to downplay it. I did have food. Again, I'm just trying to do it. Like, we didn't have food banks. So when we didn't have, my mum was just good at rationing, I suppose, because I did eat every day. It just wasn't healthy food or enough. So I did though. So see how I'm going, this is in real time now, me practicing this gratitude about these bits of my childhood. The other thing was like, did you get to school? Did you get to take a bus to school? Did you walk to school? And I was really fortunate actually when I was in year 6. No, when I was in year 6 in Kent, we have the God, I don't even know what it's called. It's just like the test. We have a test. And you take the test in Kent. And if you pass the test, you are able to go to different schools. You don't have to, but you get the opportunity to go to grammar schools. And I passed my test. And the problem was that the distance, you only got a free bus pass, and we were on benefits from free school meals. You only got a free bus pass if you were more than 3 miles away from that grammar school as the crow flies. If anyone remembers this from the 90s, or I don't even know if they still do it, but they literally put a dot in the map and then a dot where you're going to go and then measure that distance. And I think it was 2.8 miles. And even though I was on free school meals, I couldn't go. They wouldn't give me a free bus pass. Now, the biggest reason for this is there was a secondary school that all of my sisters actually went to on my road, but it was it was a comp. It wasn't a grammar school. And I really wanted to go to the grammar school. My mum, I don't know if my mum did want me to go, but she was like, well, there's a school up the road. So if we can't get you to that school, there's a school 5-minute walk away. So it's not going to be like she's not going to get any education. And, you know, it was first on my list or whatever. Anyway, this charity stepped in because I was a young carer. The primary school had registered it and said, look, she's past her 11 plus. Mum can't afford for her to go to there. Or there was somebody at the council, and I definitely know it was a young carers thing because I went away and did this young carers weekend thing. And they paid this charity called the Watts Charity. They're based in Rochester in Kent, and I really want to work with them at some point in the future. I'm focusing on Winston's Wish, but because it's a local charity, I want it to, in the future I'll do this. But they paid for my bus pass for as long as I was in full-time education, which took me up to the end of the sixth form. So they paid for my bus pass every single term for the whole time I was at school. And those bus passes were like, I think it was like £300-400 a year. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I remember having to go with the cheque to go and get the bus pass. And it was like so much money in this cheque. Was it a cheque? But I felt like it was massive cash. And they also helped my mum with a clothing allowance for us. Amazing. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. There's food banks and stuff as well. I don't know whether it does happen, but what I had to do in this practice was really go, oh, I got myself, I mean, my mum might not have paid for it, but I need to be grateful for the fact. I mean, I was grateful, but you know what I mean? Like, really focus on the gratitude that I could get to school because a charity paid for that. How amazing. And be really grateful for my auntie and uncle. Like, my mum didn't drive till I was 21, 22, and I had very severe overcrowding in my teeth. And you can still see some of it because I found my first boyfriend when I got my retainers. I mean, I've spoken about it before. Greg, the drum and bass DJ, doing bloody brilliantly as I would. His current girlfriend got this amazing MC at his birthday. I was like, she's a keeper. What a legend. Anyway, I feel really I just wanted to be grateful for the fact that I have had conversation with my very first boyfriend. And I'm really grateful that at nearly 14, he's just turned 40, that we were, each other's first loves, and that you can get to this point in life and go, wasn't that lovely that we fell in love and we actually, it was really beautiful, really lovely thing. And yeah, it did go a bit down in the end, but we're talking now and it's brilliant. I feel like that's something to be really grateful for and just really proud of him. If he ever listened to this, he'd be like, fucking hell. But just want to, when I see him, go and follow him. His name's Conan. I know I've spoken to him before, but he's DJing. When I see him, it's like he's gone back. He's 16 again in these videos to the person that I, was going out with. And I can see him as his true self, his most vivid self, as I always say. And I'm so happy for him. Really fills me up with so much joy seeing him like that. It's just beautiful. So just love it. Anyway, what was I saying? No idea. About being grateful. So being grateful about I don't know, where did Conan come in? I don't know. Anyway, but going back through the fact that I went to school and I had school uniform and I had books that the school provided for me. That was it. Taking me to orthodontist appointments. That was it. My auntie and uncle used to take me to the orthodontist appointments because my mum didn't have a car and you couldn't get a bus. Couldn't get a bus to the orthodontist. How grateful I am for that. They helped. My Auntie Shirley used to take my mum shopping every week because it was easier in a car, obviously, than the bus. How amazing. It just spun my idea of me thinking I didn't have when I did. It was just in a different way. And it's just really made me feel amazing and feel a little bit choked up as I'm feeling it because I just feel so, so grateful. So that's really good. So I really recommend going to do the magic, go and do the 28 days of gratitude. If you are not woo at all, don't worry about it because it's not that woo. It's just basically saying, this is our beautiful life right now. This is our beautiful, gorgeous life. And to feel it and enjoy it on another level, isn't that just brilliant? Isn't that something that we could all take, all be part of and all just enjoy? And who can have too much joy? I certainly can't. So I'm really enjoying that. Now, one thing that I've really focused on over the last couple of months, I'm lying through my bloody teeth. I've been focusing on it for the last couple of months. I haven't at all. And this is why I'm talking about it, is writing my book. I have huge ambitions, huge dreams. As I say it to you, I'm just filled with goosebumps. Huge dreams of writing a book. Everybody that's friends with me, everyone that knows me knows that I've wanted to write a book my whole life. Whole life. And now at just under 2 months until, it's actually 50 days until I turn 40, as I record this, I'm like, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Now, what I have in my locker, I can type real fast. I actually typed this morning just under 1,000 words in 15 minutes, which I've got my lovely little, if you're watching on YouTube, I've got my lovely little sand timer. And I thought, could I do it in 15 minutes? Yes, I could. So I'm where am I today? I think I'm almost 8,000 words as I record this. I think I'm almost 8,000 words in. So, and I'm working at about 1,000 to 1,200 words a day. Yeah, I'm just under 8,000 words. I'm going to up that tomorrow. I've actually got a lovely CEO admin day, and I'm going to write for about an hour. I reckon I could probably smash out about 3,000 words tomorrow. But there is one thing that has, and one of the things as well, being away for 2 weeks, I completely switched off my phone. The first 5-6 days, I didn't turn it on at all. Then I turned it on. It was 6 days. Yeah. Turned it on for, I did one of my mastermind dream team meetings while I was in Thailand, which was bloody brilliant. I love my dream team mastermind. Oh my God, they're so good. So I did that, and then I turned it off again until we came home. And I missed out on loads of stuff of like stuff that I would obviously know about, but I didn't. And that was okay. I didn't mind missing it. But the element of my brain just going, just opening up and being able to write. So this is how much I've been writing. I've been doing my 3 A4 pages every morning. Then I'm doing my gratitude stuff, which is about 3 A5-ish pages. And then I'm writing 1,000 to 1,200 words a day. But this writing, oh my God, it's so good. Now, I've never been able to describe the feeling that writing gives me. And I know that this isn't for everybody. Writing doesn't come in this much joy to everyone. But this is why I know this is what I was born to do, as well as doing stuff like this, because the feeling it gives me, it makes me want to take off. Now, I interviewed somebody for the podcast, Chelsea, whose podcast is coming out in a couple of weeks. And she spoke about this book that Stephen King had written called On Writing. And so I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to buy it. I'd already loaded up all of these books. I read a lot. This is the other thing I did. Read 5 books while I was away. Like a book every 2 days. It was just frigging amazing. But this book I got by Stephen King, and how he speaks about writing. And there was a bit at the end. It does make me feel emotional, which is ridiculous, really. No, it's not. It's not ridiculous. But there's a bit where he talks about, I wonder if I can find it because I did highlight it. But it was the first time that I was like, oh, I've got a description of what it feels like to write for me. And I hadn't had it before listening to this book. One thing he said was, he has a conversation with his son in the back. And this is a question for you. Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Can you please write now in the comments what the answer to that is? Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I want to know. So this is brilliant. No, it isn't. Where is it? Oh, it is. I feel that buzz. This is him talking about writing. I feel that buzz of happiness, that sense of having found the right words and put them in a line. It's like lifting off in an airplane. You're on the ground, on the ground, on the ground, and then you're up, riding on a magical cushion of air, and prince of all you survey. That makes me happy because it was what I was made to do. And I read that, I was like, that's what it is. I feel like I'm taking off. And also that the scariest moment to anything is always just before you start. And I knew in my head what this book was going to be. This is my second attempt at writing a book. I have 30,000 words of book sitting, waiting. I don't know what's going to happen to it. But I was like, no, I want to start again. I want to be in the free flow. I feel like that died. That book has died. I got to 30,000 words and just didn't continue it. But now, because I'm so clear on what the book is about, I wrote out, I was like, right, if I'm feeling scared right now, let's just see the structure. So I just wrote out all of the chapters, all of the structure of that. And I was like, okay, I'm aiming for quick chapters. I want them to be about 8 to 10 pages long. That's about 5 to 7 minutes of reading each one. So I need to, or potentially it's just a little bit over, but I want it to be a book that you can pick up and bite size, exactly like the Productivity Academy, my course. I want it to be, I'm going to bite it off and have that impact of what you learn in that instant that you implement it. It feels so underwhelming. It feels doable. And then you can start feeling the impact of it. So I did that, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to get started. So I picked one of the chapters that I felt really good about starting, and I just did it. And as soon as I did, it was like I took off. That basically, I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in frigging Thailand. Beautiful day. I was sitting in a swimming costume with like probably a beer next to me. And oh my God, I'm in Thailand writing my book. Oh, I feel emotional because isn't that a dream? Isn't that like a complete dream to be writing a book, be able to work from Thailand and see my clients in the dream team, knowing I'd scheduled all my content, all of my podcast. The business was working for me while I was away, and I was there with my loved ones being in my zone of genius. How frigging amazing is that? So I felt really like I finally found, not that I knew it though. And this is the thing, this is my intention with this episode. I am sure there is something that you feel like you could take off about, that you feel so excited about when you do it, or you feel so lit up that you could fly. If there isn't anything in your life like that yet, I would love you to start exploring what that could be. What is it? What could it possibly be where you feel like you could take off? That joy. That is your zone of genius. I want you to, if you haven't already, listen to The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Go and listen to the podcast episode with him in, which I'm going to tell you the episode right now because I really should know this off by heart because it's my most played episode now, funnily enough, because it's so goddamn good. No rest. Oh, I always spell his name wrong like an idiot, even though I've said his name a million times. No rest. There we go. It is episode 216. So episode 216, go listen to that. But he talks about the zone of genius. And I knew when I read that book like 5 years ago that my zone of genius was writing. But this is the thing, right? If you don't know yet, find it. If you do know, this is your permission. This is the permission I want you, that you're probably looking for, that you don't need, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Your permission to be who you are in that zone of genius, to carve out, even if it's 5 minutes a day, babe, 5 minutes a day where you feel like you can take off. Think about how powerful that is. I really do feel emotional because, one, I'm a sad sap and I've got jet lag and I need some lunch, but also because some of us find it so difficult, including me, to give ourselves permission because of the lack of self-worth we have, that we're not worthy to be in that zone of genius. But you are. And this is me saying to you, carve out that time, babe. Carve out that time where you are the most vivid version of you. Because this is why I'm writing the book. This is why I do this podcast. I want to give you the tools to believe that anything is possible for you. Those tools will help you to believe in yourself enough to take that action, to believe in yourself enough to say, you know what, I could do 5 minutes of what makes me feel like I could take off. Yeah, I can do 5 minutes. This is why I do this. These tools that can make you feel like anything is possible for you. Anything. Because if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. And if it's possible for them, the people that I look up to, you look up to, it's possible for you and me too. So tell me in the comments, email me, find me on Instagram. I want to hear, what is your zone of genius and how are you going to carve out those 5 minutes? Just start with 5 minutes, babe. There's your permission slip. You can do it. That was a nice one to get back into. I feel like I needed one of them episodes. If you haven't already subscribed or followed, please do it. It means so much to me. Honestly, we celebrate every new subscribe or follow. Gives us a whole big old high five. It means the world. If you've got any questions, if you'd like to be featured on my Mini Monday episodes with a question about your business, all you have to do is email beliefteam@clairehill.uk or comment below if you're listening to Spotify podcasts or on YouTube. Okay, have a wonderful day wherever you are. I'll speak to you soon.